What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the shop. And in front of me, I have a really odd one for you guys today. What this is, it's a Briggs & Stratton Intech. It's an overhead valve engine, produces about 8 horsepower. And when it was put away, it was running great. This is my dad's engine. And for some reason, now it's completely locked up. And like I said, it was running perfectly fine. He had serviced it, did the regular maintenance on it before he stored it. Yes, it was tarped outside. However, that shouldn't have affected any of that stuff. So we're going to figure out why this is not turning over anymore. So just really quickly, I'm going to do my basic checks. And I'm going to assume it's been about 4 years, I think, since he's used it. So I'm going to do the regular checks, assuming that, yeah, see, actually the gas doesn't actually smell that bad. Because like I said, he also, like myself, believes that storing a machine with fuel stabilizer is always a great idea. So I don't remember if he did an oil change or not, but I mean, you should be able to tell. So the oil is a little dark, but it's right there. It's not super dark, but it could use an oil change if we get it running. But to get right to the point here, if I grab this recoil, it's locked right up. I cannot do anything to get that moving. And of course, the recoil on this thing is riveted. So in order to get to the flywheel and maybe try and turn it over without the recoil, hopefully it's something simple, because like I said, it was stored outside. Maybe there is something, maybe a squirrel made a nest in here in the flywheel, and maybe that's what's stopping it from turning, because I've seen weird stuff like that. Or worse, we've got some corrosion or a valve that's just hung up. But we're going to start with the basics. I think what I'm going to try and do is on this end, I'm going to remove the pulley assembly. Maybe see if I can get something on there without marring up the crankshaft too much, and just see if I can get it to move a little bit. But I just got an idea. I have a boroscope. Maybe we should look down the cylinder first. That might give us an idea. I've just pulled the spark plug and it's in great shape. There's no, let's say, carbon buildup on here, or it seems to be burning well, or at least it was burning well when it was running. So there's no signs of anything odd here. No smoking gun, so to speak. So let's hope that once we go down in there, that it's the same that we see over here. Alright guys, here we go. See what we can find in here. Oh, the piston's up quite high. Okay, it doesn't look like too much carbon buildup. So it was running pretty good, I guess, when it was running. But what I'm more interested in at the moment, if I can find maybe the sidewall. I'm having a hard time navigating this. Is that the sidewall right there? Like the cylinder wall? Because that looks pretty darn rusty. Wonder if can I navigate that? Oh, what is that? What is on top of the piston right there? You guys see that? Oh, that's at the bottom of it. That is at the bottom of the cylinder because it's slanted. That's yucky. What is that? Oh, guys. This is not good. It looks like rusty water. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to take the head off and take a better look. Oh, guys. Come on, that's gross. Oh, well. Let's keep diagnosing. Okay, so as you saw there, guys, clearly there's something on top of the piston. And I think I know what it is. I think the water or just moisture was built up, maybe through the exhaust or even through the intake. And this here says it all. This is a cast iron sleeve. So cast iron's great. It's got lots of durability. However, one thing it's not very good at is it's not good at keeping rust away from the surface. So it tends to build rust quickly. And if it was sitting for a while, I don't know if it was fogged or if you put any, let's say, little bit of oil on top of the piston and rotate it a few times before he put it away for a long extended period. So I'm wondering if maybe that's what's happened. Maybe there's just rust buildup around the cylinder and that's why the piston is stuck. So let's start by taking the valve cover off here and seeing if we can find the bolts for the head. I'm going to use my wife's old muffin pan to keep everything organized. It's a great hack, just don't tell your wife that you took it. All right. Take the cover off just like so. And that gave us access to perfectly only one bolt right down below here. But hey, I'll take it. The rest of them are kind of accessible if I remove this heat shield. So maybe that's what we'll do next. There's a little heat shield here, and there's one bolt here and one tucked right up underneath there. Let's see if we can get those out. I found that removing the gas tank makes it a lot easier to get to the one bolt, so it's going to be one of those jobs where you just basically take the whole thing apart apparently. Okay, so now the heat shield is loose, hopefully I'll be able to just crack all the bolts and pull them out, and that head should come out, or maybe, I'm not even really sure what I'll be able to accomplish by doing that. But I'm guessing the head will come off right here. So maybe we'll be able to see more by doing that. So we got to get in there anyway. So let's crack these up. I've never opened up one of these Briggs and Strattons before. I've had plenty of older Tecumsehs and some of the older Briggs, but this is slightly newer than what I'm usually working on. And normally I like to do this at top dead center so that the valves are kind of relieved, and it seems to be almost there now, but since we can't rotate it, it doesn't matter. Alright, now hopefully this will kind of all come together. I mean, like the what am I talking about here? The carburetor with the intake as well as the exhaust might all come together, but I'm gonna have to, if I tip this up a little bit, I'm going to disconnect the throttle linkage right here, because if I don't do that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up bending it. Let's see if we can just kind of peel it up just like that. Seems to be going fairly easily. Now maybe I can twist and pivot and rather easily, hopefully, make these cables work. Okay, you guys can see inside there before I do. What do you see? Please tell me it's not that bad. Just tell me it's not that bad. Okay, so there you go. The linkage came out all by itself. So that wasn't so bad. See, this is a whole big contraption. I don't even want to look. Is it bad? Is it? What do we look at the valves here first? Let's take a look at the valves. The valves don't seem to be that bad. Are they opening and closing? If I push hard enough. Okay, there's our exhaust. Sorry. I gotta push in the proper way. Can I get the intake going? Yeah, so the intake's moving too. They were a little bit stuck, but not bad. Not bad whatsoever. Okay. I really don't want to look, but I gotta. I'm postponing this, as you can tell. Ah, guys. Okay, that's exactly why it's not turning over. Let me get the camera so you guys can get a better look. So unfortunately, that's exactly what we had, is we had some water right down below there, and we've got a nice amount of rust buildup. Like that's like, oh, I might not be able to save this. It's really, really, really bad. It's almost oily though. but it's really gritty. I don't know. Okay, maybe we'll be able to push it down and see what the rest of the sidewalls look like, and maybe it's just there. We can clean that up with some emery cloth, a little bit of sandpaper. I don't know. Let's hope. We'll mop that up and keep going. So the top of the piston cleaned up pretty good, actually. All of this carbon is actually kind of loose. I can take it off even further without working too hard at it. The sides up here, they're rusty. A little bit of surface, but down here, oh, that's pitted real bad. So to give myself the best possible chance at making this engine survive, I'm going to just put some penetrating oil. I'm going to use this stuff. I'm not sponsored, but I do like it. I find it works really well. So I'm just going to give it a liberal spray. People use all sorts of things. Everybody's got their favorite. I find this works pretty good. You can kind of see it bubbling right there. So we're going to let it sit for a minute. And then after that, I'm also going to use this block of wood here. This side seems to be pretty flat. And I'm going to just kind of give it a little bit of a whack. Not too hard, just to see if we can push it down and take a better look inside. But we'll give it a minute to sit. So about a minute or two later, you can see that the letters are actually coming up on top of the piston. I can see here that it's a standard size, so it's never been overbored. And it took away a lot of that carbon buildup. Like, this stuff is actually pretty cool. As you can see, it's just working away here. Let's see if it helps free up the rings a little bit at the very least. So I'm just going to lightly, I don't want to go too hard because I might make some, some damage inside here. I'm just really hoping for the best here, hoping that something's going to move. And it looks like it's going down. It has gone down a little bit. So that's nice. Oh yeah, now it's moving. Now it's moving actually pretty good. Not sure how far down it's gone. There you go. So now we've reached the bottom and it's coming back up. So let's give this a nice oiling. We'll mop that up one more time and we'll take a look at the damage that it's got. Okay, now if I get in there real good there, guys, you can really see the damage. This is pretty darn pitted. I don't know if it's worth saving anymore. I have to give my dad a call and maybe find out what he wants to do with this, but I don't know. I'm really concerned with this here. Like, this is pretty, if I can focus on it, it's really raised up. Like, if I come back just so you can see it from a different perspective here versus, let's say, the back of that cylinder, it's raised up quite a bit. So as a last ditch effort, I think what I'm going to do is I have a stone hone. I'm going to put some paper down below on the cylinder, inside on top of the piston, and that will hopefully kind of stop some of the crud from making its way down. Maybe I can rinse it out after. I'll use a stone hone, but maybe I'll start off with a piece of sandpaper just to get rid of that and see how bad it looks. I'm not sure. It's a last ditch effort. Hail Mary, I guess. So I've got my piece of paper or my rag in there on top of the piston. This is a piece of 80 grit. It's been used before, so it's probably not as aggressive. But I'm going to start by just kind of cleaning this up. When I'm satisfied, I'm going to take out the ball hone and go back and forth with this and see if I can clear it up. Otherwise, I'm having to dismantle the whole thing, and it may not even be worth it because I think this pitting is pretty deep into the sidewall. Like I say, if I have to dismantle all of it, then I can do a proper job. But we might have to just bore it out to the next size up. But in all reality, I don't know if it's worth it because these engines are not super expensive anymore. So let's see if we can just save it. If it runs, you might just be happy with that. So let's cue to high speed. And after about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes of work here, guys, this is what I ended up with. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. I didn't think it was going to look like this. It's still kind of nasty, won't lie to you there, but it's not as bad. Not as bad as I thought. We can probably make this engine run. I mean, I didn't want to go too crazy with the stone hone because I don't have a smaller one, and I couldn't do a hash mark with it, let's say. You know, meaning that you go in, kind of do a figure 8 when you're done with it, like on the scratches. And that just helps retain oil on the side. But I think the bigger question is, will the cylinder be clean enough to make that piston go up and down relatively easy without scraping? Let me just see if I can pull on the cord here. Nice and slow. Well, you can hear a little bit of a scraping, but it's kind of hard to do this with one hand. Oh, look at that. Came right over. Hey, we might actually be in business here. We can probably get away with this. And actually, as you can see, there's a little bit of oil left. So, what do you think? Let's throw, maybe, I don't know, let's throw it back together and see if it runs. There is one thing I should do, since it's more accessible now than ever, is to take this bowl off the carburetor and just take a look inside to see if there's anything that's nasty in there that we can clean before we go back fully together. Because if I remember correctly, these carburetors are plastic internals and they're not fun. They're just not the greatest. So hopefully everything's okay here. And we'll have a golden ticket to just do an oil change, put some fresh gas, and be on our way. Let's take a look here. Okay, you know what? You know what? That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. Okay, we got the spring down below here, but that's really good. Doesn't smell too funky. I think overall here, we're in good shape. Put that back together, and then we'll carry on with the rest of the installation. This is also an ideal time when you're putting it back together to set your valves. So we've got our feeler gauge here. It's set the top dead center on compression. And we are looking pretty good here in the intake. And what about the exhaust? Not bad at all. So kind of got lucky here, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of charts online depending on your Briggs & Stratton or your engine. Just follow the manufacturer specs and you should be good to go. Alright guys, so here it is. We're all back together. We know that there's oil in it. There is a little bit of gas. I don't know how much exactly, if it's going to be enough, but there is some gas. So what we're going to do, we're going to try it. I mean, yeah, we'll just try it. So we're going to start by turning the gas on. I think it's this way. Yeah. We're going to fully choke it because... And here's the thing, I don't recommend doing this. It's not bolted down in any fashion. And this, by the way, if you're wondering what this is actually a centrifugal clutch. So once it reaches a certain RPM, it will engage. But that's how it's supposed to be. So yeah, it's not bolted down. It's really not recommended. I'm going to put some hearing protection on in case it does actually decide to fire. I mean, fingers crossed. So, I guess here goes nothing. We'll give it a couple of pulls. Oh, I guess it would help if I took it somewhere off of the stop so we can get some spark there. seriously, I was not expecting that. That's cool. So it works. All we need to do now is we're going to give it an oil change. We're going to monitor it for a while and see if there is any oil consumption. That is cool. Again, like I've said in previous videos, I don't stage this stuff. What you see here is start to finish. I rarely edit even in between. And if I do, I let you guys know. I usually am wearing a different shirt in that sense too, so you can kind of tell. That's cool. So I guess that's going to be the end of today's video. So I really hoped you guys liked it. I'm super happy to be able to give this back to my dad because he's been waiting for a couple of weeks now to see if this thing ever ran again. And we'll leave it at that. That's pretty cool. I got to see if it works again. But anyways, guys, if you did like the video, just give me a thumbs up maybe. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. So have a great day.